The endless war against the flesh-eating fly right now. Over the dense jungles of Panama, aircraft are releasing an army, not of soldiers, but of 100 million tiny, irradiated flies. Their mission? To wage a war that's been raging for more than half a century. A war humanity can never truly end. It sounds bizarre, and maybe even disturbing. But this battle has saved countless lives, both human and animal. And it's fought against one of the most horrifying parasites ever discovered. The monster's true identity: meet Cochleomia hominivirax, better known as the New World screwworm fly. Its name literally translates to man-eater, and it lives up to the title. These shimmering blue-green flies with striking red eyes don't just target the weak or dying. They seek out any warm-blooded creature with even the smallest wound. Female screwworms can detect the scent of blood from far away, and when they find an injury, they lay hundreds of eggs inside it. When the larvae hatch, they do the unthinkable. They eat living flesh. Not dead tissue, not decaying matter, but healthy muscle and skin. The result is agonizing wounds that attract more flies, turning a small scratch into a deadly infection. In severe cases, the victim, whether it's a wild deer, a cow, or a human, can die from the infestation. And unlike many other creatures, screwworms offer no ecological benefit. They are pure parasites. The perfect storm for most of history, screwworms were a grim fact of life in the Americas. But when cattle ranching exploded in the southern United States, we unknowingly gave them the perfect environment to thrive. Vast herds of livestock meant endless open wounds, from barbed wire, branding, birthing, and more. Entire herds could be devastated by a single outbreak. And pesticides were useless because the larvae lived inside the flesh of the host. It seemed hopeless. Until two scientists in the 1950s had a radical idea. A crazy plan. Sterilize the enemy. The weakness of the screwworm is this: females only mate once in their lifetime. If that one mating happens with a sterile male, she'll never produce offspring. So the scientists asked, what if we release millions of sterile males into the wild? They would compete with healthy males, trick females into mating with them, and slowly collapse the population. The challenge was sterilizing them without making them too weak to survive. That's where radiation came in. Researchers discovered the exact dose that damaged reproductive cells without killing the fly or affecting its behavior. From idea to reality. To test the plan, a massive breeding program began. In specially built facilities, trays of meat and blood were used to raise countless screwworms. The males were irradiated and released into carefully chosen locations. The first major victory came on the island of Curacao, where screwworms were wiped out entirely. From there, the campaign expanded through Florida, Texas, Mexico, and deep into Central America. By the late 1980s, screwworms even invaded North Africa. A massive emergency response flooded the region with sterile flies, and within months, the threat was contained. The wall of flies today, the main defense against screwworms, is in Panama, the narrowest point between North and South America. There, a flesh wall of sterile flies is maintained to block the parasite from spreading north again. Each week, the facility produces around 100 million sterile flies using a modernized system, protein-rich food instead of raw meat, precise temperature control, and advanced radiation techniques. planes dispersed them over precise flight paths, forming an invisible barrier across the jungle. The war isn't over despite decades of success. The screwworm is far from defeated. In 2016, it returned to the Florida Keys, devastating the local key deer population before another emergency eradication campaign was launched. In late 2023, the Panama fly wall failed, and screwworms surged through Central America once again. The factories are now running at full capacity, dropping as many sterile flies as possible to halt the spread. This is a war without an end date. If we ever stop fighting, screwworms will come back. And when they do, the cost and suffering will be unimaginable.